Louisa May Alcott was born on the 29th of November 1832 in Germantown, Pennsylvania. She was the second born of a large family, and already in her childhood, she and her sisters lived in very difficult economic conditions because they were forced to follow the lifestyle chosen by their parents. So the girl started to work at a very young age, doing various jobs, and then she devoted herself to writing. The writer, in adulthood, supported the movement for the abolition of slavery and the feminist movement. She was the first woman to vote in Concord. In 1868, Louisa wrote her greatest literary success, Little Women. The novel tells the story of the March, an American family. It was published by the American editor Thomas Niles, who, realizing the novel's commercial success, asked the writer to write other novels, such as the second part of Little Women, Jo's Boys, Good Wives, and Little Men. After the death of her mother in 1879, also her little sister died. 2 days after visiting her dying father, she died at the age of 56 from mercury poisoning in 1888. Her literary production has more than 300 literary works. The semi-autobiographical novel Little Women is set in Concord and, through the story of the four March sisters, recalls many events of the writer's life, such as the death of her little sister Lizzie because of scarlet fever, just like one of the protagonists. The story starts during a Christmas Eve in Concord, where Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy live with their mother Marmee, while their father is serving as chaplain in the American Civil War. The March recently lost their fortune, so the older sisters work in order to help the family. Meg is a governess for a neighboring family. Jo takes care of the old Aunt March, a rich widow. Beth is too shy to go to school, so she helps in household chores. And Amy is a student who loves the art. In addition, the four sisters help a lot the community. Particularly, they take care of the Hummel family, which is very poor. Mr. Lawrence, the rich neighbor, appreciates this act of kindness, so sends them the Christmas lunch. Meanwhile, Meg and Jo are invited to the New Year's Eve celebration at the house of Meg's friend. During the party, Jo meets Theodore Lawrence, called Laurie, the grandson of Mr. Lawrence. The friendship between the Lawrence and the March becomes closer and closer, particularly the relationship between Laurie and Jo. One day, a telegram arrives informing the March that their father is seriously ill, so Marmee decides to go and assist her husband. Jo decides to sell her long hair for $25 in order to help her mother. During Marmee's absence, Beth contracts scarlet fever after spending time with a poor family where 3 children died because of it. Jo tends to Beth, who finally recovers, but her health is seriously compromised. Later, Meg falls in love with Mr. Brooke, the young tutor of Laurie, who asks her to marry him, and Meg says yes. The novel ends with the return of Mr. March from war on Christmas Day, exactly a year later, the beginning of the book. The novel follows the growth and the maturation of the four March sisters, all with different personalities. Meg is the oldest one and she's really beautiful. Sometimes she desires things that she can't have because of the difficult economic condition of her family. Jo is a tomboy. She loves literature and writing, and she has a strong spirit of independence. Certainly, Louisa May Alcott based the character of Jo on herself. Beth is a really shy girl, calm and quiet. Amy is the youngest, loves the art, and tries to excel in everything she does. The importance of family, children's education, and the individual's process of growth are certainly the main themes covered in Little Women, a novel that faithfully portrays the American life during the second half of the 19th century. A central theme is women's struggle to find their own dimension in the delicate balance between family duties and the fulfillment of their own aspirations. While Meg and Beth adapt to social expectations on the role of women, Amy and Jo fight for eliminating social impositions and increasing their individuality. Another theme is the need to work in order to achieve self-realization and happiness. For the variety and importance of the themes, Alcott's book is undoubtedly avant-garde compared to the era during which it was written. The attention on the nuclear family and its values reveals the desire of self-affirmation. Despite economic difficulties, each one of the four sisters tries to cultivate their passions, such as music, painting, and writing, above all in a non-liberal era and prone to support an all-male world. The new adaptation of the novel made by the director Greta Gerwig is a fresh and personal look on the story of the March sisters. There are many differences between the book and the movie. Some concern the editing, while others regard the themes, reproposing the novel in a more contemporary view. The adaptation of 1994 was one of the most appreciated, but it didn't propose the brave reinterpretation of the Gerwig's movie, who commits herself in order to make the story as current as possible. In the original version, Little Women is the linear story of the life of four sisters growing up between difficulties and efforts during the American Civil War. Although in some parts the Gerwig's version is really accurate, the director alters the structure by introducing, for example, the element of the meta-narrative. Jo is a writer and she tries to survive publishing stories of low quality, despite her big talent. In a particularly impactful sequence, Gerwig shows Jo in the material act of the novel's composition, and at the end of the sequence, Jo puts the first 3 chapters of Little Women together, the story which the spectators are seeing in that moment. This meta-narrative aspect there isn't in the novel of the writer Alcott. The movie of the year 2020 also provides another change. While the book starts with the Christmas celebration during the war, the movie starts with Jo March at the age of 25, who is going to an interview with a publisher in New York. Then the movie continues with big time jumps, preferring an in-depth analysis of the individual characters rather than a linear narration. March's Christian faith has a great role in the original novel, but in the movie this element doesn't have its relevance. An important moment of the story is the selfless act towards the Hummels. Gerwig, by not mentioning their religious faith, allows the viewer to concentrate more on the protagonist's actions rather than their spiritual motives. The pseudo-final of Gerwig is absolutely more audacious and touching, but also more unreal. We could almost say that Greta Gerwig empathizes with the spirit of Louisa May Alcott's novel so much so that she takes the liberty to rewrite some pages without ever betraying it.